Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, my brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Taking a go out today, see if things came out, see if things are on sale today. Now today though, the big release that comes out is the film, a Dakota Johnson film, The High Note. That's one of the big ones that comes out. There also are a couple horror ones, some really cool horror ones, which I'm going to see if they're, for sale in Walmart. That's the one main place I feel like will have these ones. Other than that though, Best Buy has an exclusive Steelbook release today that is for the film Casper, which is the movie's now at its 25th anniversary, which is crazy. The movie's 25 years old now, but that one is releasing, as well. Also, though, at the end of this video is going to be a whole bunch of brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews for some things I received to review and talk about for you guys. Some really, really cool stuff, so definitely stay tuned for those at the end of this video. And as always, too, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that I reviewed. If you guys have seen them, what you guys thought of them. Also, if you guys plan on picking any of them up. But anyway, though, guys, let's get going and see what we can find today.
Into Walmart we go. Yeah, and it's definitely a fingers crossed. Hopefully this one has out all the stuff. This is one I don't usually go to very much. I haven't actually been to this one in a really long time. But I was mentioning, about the Steelbook, the Casper Steelbook at Best Buy. And that one, though, didn't look like it was available anywhere. So, they had, one available at this one. So I ended up doing the store pickup. So hopefully, I got the thing that says that it's ready to be picked up. So hopefully they did that right and everything. But that's why I went out to this particular Walmart. This one I don't believe locks up the movies though, so that's the one good thing. So we'll see. Hopefully the things are out in here, like I said, fingers crossed. If not though, we'll have to go to one of the other ones afterwards and kind of drive and backtrack. But yes, but we'll see though, like I said, fingers crossed. Like I was saying though, this is the one Walmart I don't go to too often because this is one of the smallest ones. It's kind of like, I always call this Walmart Light, because as you see, it's definitely one of the smallest ones around that I know of. I don't know of any other ones that are this tiny. If any of you guys have any ones that are this small in your area, let me know. But like I said, it's definitely the smallest one. We're doing this live though to see, what movies they have over here, if they have any of the stuff out. I don't see anything new on there right now. I don't see the High Note or anything. Let's see, up here I see the spots for High Note, Afraid of the Dark. That one came out today, the newest series of Afraid of the Dark, but yeah, they don't have any of this stuff. So I probably have to drive back to the other one afterwards. I see one thing over here that I don't know if this is this a new one that just came out, this edition here? This Rocky Horror Picture Show one here? Is this, I think it might be, I don't remember seeing this. It's I think it's the one, since, Fox was bought by Disney, it must be their edition of it, their new re-release, because it has a digital copy of it in this one for $12.99 and then $7.99 for the DVD of that one. It's the 45th anniversary edition of that one, but that's interesting. But I believe that one, like I said, is new. Let's look over here, though, in the actual section, though, to see, because I don't know if there was anything else, in there that I would have seen in here that they would have had. I do see up in here though, I see one new thing over here. I believe this one came out, this one Archive with Theo James. I believe this one released today. I don't know anything about this one. If you guys have seen this one, let me know how this one was. But they do have some of the new stuff out over here. It's funny that, like I said, they didn't have the High Note one over there. So maybe I won't go to another one since there's probably not too many other things this week that they would have. They do have, one of the other ones was Valley of the Gods, which was an interesting one with Josh Hartnett. That one's $12.96 for the DVD, $14.96 for the DVD. But this is one of the other ones that was new today. This G-Loc movie. That one is $14.96. I'm gonna have a review of that one at the end of this video. This one, I don't know if this was new. When does this say on the back? It's 2020, so maybe this is a new release here. Superheroes and Super Villains collection here, which is over 15 hours. And it has a bunch of different Batman ones on here, and yeah, DC Super Villains. That's an interesting one. Like I said, I believe this one is new. Let's see if there's anything else over here that's new. This Clear Shot one. This one might have been a new one. I don't remember seeing that one unless that one came out last week. I don't remember seeing that. Other than that, though, over here, I'm not seeing anything else new. Like I said, the main big thing would have been the, the High Note one. Over here, though, I did see these interesting things that I think are newer releases here or something, or newer repackaged ones, like repackaged DVD ones, and they're like, they come with like a Universal exclusive like cinch bag that's included in this one. So this is like $7.88 for this one. The one for the Back to the Future trilogy for $22.88. This one's coming out, you know, to 4K in October. I can't wait for that set. And it's right now on Amazon. If you guys didn't see the standard 4K edition, it's not like the limited edition one. I think it was like $44 or something like that, which is not a bad price for all of them on 4K. Like this Fast and Furious collection here with the cinch bag, that Jurassic World collection, the Jaws one. So that's cool. Like I said, there's like these kind of cool like cinch tote bag thing included with that one. So that's definitely cool. Let's see, there's any other ones of those? Yeah, I don't see any other ones of that type, but yeah, that's definitely cool. But it's too bad they don't have the high note out. But other than that though, I don't think there was too much else that would have been right in here though. Into Target we go. Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to end up going to another Walmart because there's not one right in this area at all. This one's kind of in a further out area where there's nothing really that close. And I think really the main thing that wasn't out in there was the Blacklist one and then the High Note. But other than that though, I don't think there was too much else. A handful of things, but not that much, and nothing that I was mainly gonna try and get. And it didn't look like they were gonna have the horror ones I was mentioning about, but we'll see. Hopefully they have out at least some stuff in here though, but you never know with Target. Sometimes they don't at all, but we'll see. But taking a look here though at the front though, I don't see anything new here in the front. This is all the stuff from last week, like his Dark Materials was last week. I don't see the High Note at all right here, not on the side. Let's see if it's over here on this side, but I doubt it. No, I don't see it over there. Lucky enough at the moment though, they aren't playing any music or anything in here, but I'll tell you though, it is really busy. This is like the busiest Target like I said I've been to in a while. This area is always so jammed. That's why I don't come out here too much. But like I said, I only came out here for the one Steelbook because it was the only place that looked like that they had it. But we're heading over here to the movies and everything, and we'll see what they've got though. Well, over here though in the actual section though, luckily enough though, they do have out all the stuff, and they have the High Note here, the Dakota Johnson movie with Trace Ellis Ross film. And I talked about this one in my video last Tuesday if you guys didn't see that one, and that one is $22.99 for that one. For the Blu-ray, $16.99 for the DVD of that one. They also have that archive movie here as well with Theo James, and this one looks kind of interesting. I might end up getting this one. This one is $12.99, and also I Am Vengeance Retaliation. This one was today, and that one's $14.99 for that. And I'll be talking about that one at the end of this video. And also, this was today, the Are You Afraid of the Dark? This is the one I was mentioning, which is the new, you know, it was like a new 3-episode movie that they did of it. And it also in here includes, though, 3 episodes from the original series, though. So that was really cool that they included them on there as special features. And also the Arthur, the Ultimate Friendship Collection, that released today. It's 10 hours of Arthur ones together. That one's $14.99 for that one. Other than that though, I don't think I see anything else new over here, like anything TV wise. No, it doesn't look like it though, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I was reading this movie and it kind of sounds a little bit like Replicas, a little bit like kind of like that with like Ex Machina and all those kind of things mixed together. Like I said, I think I'm gonna get that one. It's so funny though, like, you know, everywhere else in the store there's no music, like no music at all. But then when as soon as you get over to the movies, then you have to like dodge the music and the TV and everything. So I have to talk real quick. That's why I couldn't be over there too long, because I have to like talk in between when the songs are going and everything. But yeah, like I said, I think I'll end up getting this one though. It looks pretty decent though. Yeah, so I ended up getting that one in there. Like I said, I don't know much about it. It sounded relatively interesting though. If any of you guys have watched this one though, let me know how that one was. But now though, I'm gonna head over to Best Buy, since that's, like I said, that was the main reason I came out to this area, and it's like right over there. So it's basically all this stuff is right in the same vicinity. It's like Target's here, the Walmart that I was at was right over there, so it's all kind of like right here. It's kind of funny how all these things are in the same exact spot and vicinity and everything. But I don't come out here too much, like I said, 'cause it's very super, super busy. Probably one of the busiest areas that I ever really go to. Usually the other ones I go to are like, if you go to like a Target now, there's, you know, the one of the normal ones I go to, there's hardly anybody at it. Couple people, but nothing like this where it's like the whole parking lot and all that. But now gonna head to the Best Buy, and hopefully that pre-order thing I did works okay. It should be there, ready to be picked up though, but we'll see. Into Best Buy we go. Yeah, this Best Buy though is always like a really interesting, different one the way it's laid out, because everything is all in one long like line like this, and they don't have the typical spot where they have like the new release stuff. I'm gonna have to look in the front to see if they put some of them in the front, but it's all kind of like mixed together like this, and then there's like random like DVDs mixed in with the Blu-rays, so it's not really a lot of like separation in this particular one. This is one of the only ones that I've seen that's kind of laid out exactly like this. As you see, like there is a 4K area, and this seems to be kind of the TV area. So there is stuff like some of the newer stuff like 12 Monkeys, which came out a couple weeks back. But like, let's see though, I don't know where any of the new stuff that would have been this week is. I don't see, yeah, see on the other side, that's it. So that's the only movies that are new are right in here. The movies used to be back in this corner, and then they kind of moved them into this. Like I said, squeezed them all into this one area, and they're real hidden in the back. I have to go look, like I said, in the front and see if they have any of the new stuff, because this particular one, like I said, the way this is laid out like this, it doesn't show any of the other, because you know in the other ones they have like this in the front that has some of the new movies, and then when you come into the actual section they have like, usually like in this spot would be like a handful of some of the other new ones that have come out, but this one does not seem to do it at all like that in here. It sort of seems like it just kind of mixes everything in, and I don't see like High Note mixed in here, and I don't see the Steelbook that I just got mixed in. So like I said, it might have to be somewhere in the front, so we'll go check over there now and we'll see though. So yeah, I looked in there, I went to the front, and I looked all around the front. They had no like stand or anything like that, none of those shelves that has the new releases or anything like that in there. So it's like I said, that this is a very weird location, because like it has, like I said, it's one of the only ones I've seen that's like that, where it's this one long aisle where things are sort of separated, sort of not, and then they had nothing new in the front or anything like that. So I saw no High Note. I think there would have been a couple other things that they would have had in person as well. Hopefully next Tuesday though, I see more of the stuff, but Best Buy has been like that a lot lately, where there's a lot of things that they don't have and sometimes they do and all that kind of stuff. But luckily enough though, the one thing that I did go there and I did the store pickup for, luckily enough they did have that in there. And it was funny, when I was getting it, the one was like, oh, this is really popular today, a lot of people have been getting this. So I guess that since like when I looked on like Store Locator and it showed like nowhere within a 60-mile radius is anywhere else that has any in, I guess everybody was ordering it at this one since they still had those like 2 left and stuff like that. I'm sure now they're all gone, but I did end up getting, like I said, the Casper 4K Steelbook here. And this one on here, it has like the bonus movies on there, like Casper Spirit Beginning and Casper Scare School, but I believe though they're only on a DVD disc. It doesn't say that on here, I don't think, but they are on a DVD disc, the bonus disc one that is on this one. And this is an exclusive to Best Buy, and I think that it's actually exclusive to the only way to get this disc or all that kind of stuff is only in this particular edition here. But at least they did end up having this one. This is one of those movies I always loved as a kid. I watched this movie so many times. I've never seen this movie in theaters. It doesn't have Casper and Wendy though, because I think I read that it's like owned by Fox and now Disney owns that or something like that. But I don't think though today there's going to be any drive-through footage, because I'm just going to be going to Blaze Pizza and picking up food in there, so there won't be any drive-through footage today. There will be more drive-through footage next week though, and hopefully next week too at Best Buy they have more of the stuff out and everything. And coming soon too, in like a week or so, there's a handful of really cool stuff coming out, like Infamous, this one movie I really want to see, that's releasing. So there's a handful of really cool stuff coming up. But as always too, like I always say too, let me know in the comments below, you know, what you guys picked up on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K, if you guys ended up picking up anything today. Also let me know too anything new that you guys been watching on streaming, any new movies or any new TV shows that you're watching lately, or any of that kind of stuff as well. And also too, if you haven't had a chance to, make sure you check out the link below to find out about the upcoming horror film I'm be in, acting in, called Axe to Grind 2, and you guys can find out how to help the movie and pre-order the DVD and Blu-ray and all that kind of stuff. So check out that as well. And as always too, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that I reviewed, what you guys thought of them, if you guys have seen them, and also if you guys plan on picking any of them up. But anyway though guys, now stay tuned for the brand new reviews.
And the first one I got here is from Shout Factory's Scream Factory line. Now this is one, when I heard this was releasing, I was so excited because this one has never come to Blu-ray before, so it's finally getting a release, and this is the brand new, you know, for the first time ever on Blu-ray, collector's edition release here of Tales from the Darkside, the movie. This is one, like I said, I was so excited because I always really loved this movie. I love the, you know, the TV series as well, because this is based on the, you know, Tales from the Darkside TV series. I don't remember how many seasons that ran for. If it was like 5, I can't remember for sure, but I always loved that show, and it always kind of, you know, when I think of, you know, anthology TV series, the other one that was very similar to it was the show Monsters. That was the one that I always loved as well. And this one, though, the wraparound segment, because it's, like, you know, an anthology film, is Debbie Harry's character who's kidnapped this kid, and the kid is in a cage, and it's kind of like a Hansel and Gretel type thing, and she's planning on, you know, cooking the kid and eating this kid. And she gave him, you know, this big book of, you know, called Tales from the Darkside with these horror stories, you know, to read. And, you know, she's getting ready to cook him, and he's like, but before you do that, can we read these stories? I would like you to read them. And she's like, okay. And then, you know, they read the one story, and then she, you know, it's like, okay, it's time. Oh no, I got another really good one. So it's basically 3 different stories. You know, the wraparound, like I said, is that of, you know, her getting ready to kill and cook this kid, and him trying to delay it with these stories. The one story was, you know, about a mummy, and that has like Steve Buscemi, Julianne Moore, and Christian Slater in that segment. And it's about like this mummy that they end up, you know, getting. You know, and then like something happens, the mummy comes to life and comes after them. The other one was about a crazed like cat, this old man that was having all these problems with this cat, and you know, he can't get rid of this cat is killing everyone that comes into the house, and he hires this guy to basically take out this cat. And then the last one in there, which is my favorite one, which was the segment about like a guy who was at a you know, he's like this guy's like drinking at a bar, and he's a you know, an artist, and he basically finds out at the bar he just lost his agent because he's not able to keep getting work out there, and the agent has basically fired him and let him go. And then, you know, right when, you know, in the bar that night, though, somebody in the alleyway gets killed by some kind of a creature, and then the creature almost kills this guy who was the artist, and the creature says, well, I will spare your life if you never tell anyone about me, ever. For the rest of your life, you never tell anyone what you saw. You never tell anyone what I look like. And he's like, okay. And then that same night, he ends up coming across this woman that he meets. But it's a great anthology film. On here, though, it has a whole bunch of different parts, you know, making of on here. It has a bunch of different interviews on here with the director, John Harrison, as well as the producer on here. So a whole bunch of different, you know, making of, you know, interviews and stuff like that on this one. Also has a commentary track on here with the director and co-writer, you know, George Romero, who is one of the co-writers on this one. And then it has a theatrical trailer, TV spots on this one. But a really, really great anthology film. Definitely one I would recommend you guys check out for sure. Also looks great here on Blu-ray. The next one here is from Scream Factory as well. And this is the Universal Horror Collection here, Volume 6. And I believe this is going to be the final volume of the Universal Horror Collections that they're going to be releasing, at least as far as I remember hearing. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that. And this one has on here 4 different films. And this has The Black Castle, Cult of the Cobra, Shadow of the Cat, and The Thing That Couldn't Die. And I'll let you guys know what these ones are about. On here for, you know, Boris Karloff stars as a doctor who risks his own life to save the captives of a mad count in the Black Castle. Vengeance is sworn against 6 men who witness a ceremony where a beautiful woman turns into the serpents in the cult of the Cobra. In The Thing That Couldn't Die, a young psychic discovers a box that contains a living head and is of an executed devil worshipper. And then a cat witnesses the murder of his owner, and the cat is hellbent on revenge in Shadow of the Cat. And then on these ones, though, you know, all of them have brand new, you know, 2K scans on these ones. So 2K scan transfers on these ones. On The Devil's Cat, it also has a commentary track on here with film historian Tom Weaver and a still gallery. And on Cult of the Cobra, it has a new commentary with film historians and Tom Weaver, as well as Stephen Krosenberg on that one, as well as a theatrical trailer and a still gallery. And then on The Thing That Couldn't Die, that has a commentary with author and film historian Tom Weaver and C. Courtney Johnner, as well as a theatrical trailer. And there's a commentary track, a brand new commentary track with film historian Bruce G. Hollenbeck on the Shadow of the Cat, as well as In the Shadow of a Cat, an interview on here with actress Barbara Shelley, which is a brand new interview, and as well as a still gallery. And each film in this set too is on its own disc, so each movie is on its own disc in this one. And it also includes a a booklet in here which has, you know, like kind of like lobby card photos from each of the films. I always like the way these are laid out. Like I said, it has like the original like lobby card images and that kind of stuff on these ones. But a really cool set here. Like I said, from what I've heard, I believe this is the final volume of the Universal collection here. And the next one here is from Lionsgate. This is a movie here called I Am Vengeance: Retaliation, which stars Stu Bennett and Vinnie Jones. This is the sequel to I Am Vengeance, which I believe I saw it. I can't be 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. And but it's basically, though, it's like a guy who's in like is he like the CIA? He's like in a special forces type team, and he has to go and get like go after Vinnie Jones's character. But Vinnie Jones's character, like he, you know, with the team that he was in, he kind of like he has a total vendetta against him and really like hates him and despises him and really like, you know, but he's kind of hired to like get him and kind of protect him because he is like a witness for something, but he doesn't really want to do this, and he really would rather like take this guy out because he really dislikes him so much. And basically, though, the people are coming after Vinnie Jones's character to try and get him, so he ends up having to like, you know, fight against them, and it becomes like a whole big crazy thing going on. It's actually a pretty cool movie. Like I said, if I'm not 100% sure if I saw the first movie, but I feel like even if you haven't seen the first one, this is kind of its own story, so it wouldn't like you'd still be able to watch this one. But on here, though, it has a commentary track on here with the writer and director, as well as actor Stu Bennett. On here, it has propelling a franchise, making of I Am Vengeance: Retaliation, as well as deleted and extended scenes on this one. The next one here, this is from Lionsgate as well, and this is the complete second season here of the show, The Terror. And this one is The Terror Infamy. Terror Infamy. I believe I'm saying that right. You know, The Terror, though, you know, is an anthology series. It's kind of like, you know, where it's in like each season is a different story, kind of like with American Horror Stories. It's in that style, because the first series of The Terror was all set, I think it was like in the early like 18 something, and it was like people who were on a like a fishing, like a big fishing kind of vessel. They get stuck out in the middle of the snow, and then weird sort of things start to happen to them out there. It's really creepy. And this one is all set, you know, right after Pearl Harbor with the Japanese internment camps. I believe that's the term for it. I'm pretty sure that's the term, where like, you know, Japanese Americans were put into these internment camps, and you know, George Takei, I'd heard George Takei talk about them on, you know, on Howard Stern stuff throughout the years, and George Takei actually, you know, acts in the show, and I believe he was one of the producers on it. I'm pretty sure, but I know, you know, he acts, you know, in the show, and he's great in here, playing a very, very different kind of role that I've seen him, you know, play before. But it's basically dealing with like sort of like ghosts and stuff happening to the people and stuff like that, and weird sort of things and seeing weird things. It's very, very creepy. I really, really like this one a lot. Like I said, it's definitely one I would recommend you guys check out for sure here. And this is a you know, a 3-disc set here, but a really, really cool show. And if you guys haven't seen the first you know, series of the show as well, definitely check out that one as well. The next one here is from Lionsgate as well, and this is a movie here called G-Loc. And this is basically, though, kind of like it's like a futuristic kind of thing about, you know, in the Earth, you know, he basically was like sending people off Earth because of like the way things were getting to like another kind of planet, and like the planet is kind of like, you know, but it's kind of through like another dimension that you get. That's how you get to this other planet, is through like a whole nother. I think it's like through like a black hole. You go through it to get to this, and when you go through it to this other dimension, though, time goes totally different. So it's like 1 year on Earth is like 15 years or something like that on this other planet. And it's basically, though, it kind of cuts back and forth to like one guy who you see is you know, the guy who's like on Earth, and you see him there with like they're struggling and having some problems happening, and then they're saying how we wish we could leave this Earth, but like only certain people are able to leave and go to this other planet and take the, you know, the journey to get there and everything. And then it cuts to him in space now going on this journey, and he kind of gets into this ship that he's trying to get into, and when he gets in there, like people are dead, and he's trying to figure out exactly what's happening, and he's trying to like take the ship and pilot it to the planet that he wants to get to. And it's like, that's essentially what it is. It's a really interesting kind of film here. I actually like this one a lot. And this one has on here, though, a making of on here, as well as a trailer gallery. And like I said, this one here is called G-Loc. And the next one I got here is from Lionsgate as well, and this is a biography here on Kenny Rodgers. This is a A&E biography on Kenny Rodgers, and it's basically, though, you know, all about his life, and it has interviews with people, you know, that had worked with him and his friends and his collaborators. It has interviews on here with people like, you know, Dolly Parton, Lionel Richie, Little Big Town, Lady Anterbaum, Reba McEntire, as well as many more people, you know, talking all about him, talking about his life. And I was always a fan of Kenny Rodgers too. Like, and I remember I first found out about him because as a kid, I used to always go, and let me know in the comments below if any of you guys remember this, but Kenny Rodgers had a restaurant that was kind of like Boston Market called Kenny Rodgers Roasters, and I used to go there all the time. And I remember, like, on the walls there was lots of, like, they used to always play his music in there. They had, like, all of his, like, record kind of covers all over the walls, and it was like a chain. I don't know if they were, like, all over the place, but I was in Maryland. That was where I remembered going to them, but I absolutely loved that place. So, like, that's how I kind of first discovered and, like, found out about Kenny Rodgers, was from that. But this is a really cool documentary. Like I said, it has all kind of talking all about him on here, and it has, like I said, you know, interviews with all of them, but it's, and as well as, you know, a farewell concert to him, you know, within this documentary on here. But a really well done documentary here on Kenny Rodgers. The next one here, and this is one I was so excited about because this one has been out of print for a really long time, and now this one has a brand new release here, and this is from a company called SOV Horror. And so you guys can get this one from SOVHorror.com, and you guys have heard me talk about this one throughout the years, and this is like an absolute must-watch movie. Now, this is not the movie, though, that stars Clint Howard. There were two movies made around the same time. I think the Clint Howard one was made a little bit later, but this one here is Mr. Ice Cream Man. The Clint Howard movie was called Ice Cream Man. But Mr. Ice Cream Man is an amazing shot-on-video film, which is absolutely so fun, so goofy, so ridiculous. It's basically, though, about this crazed ice cream man that is going around and killing the kids in the neighborhood. And it's focusing on, you know, the detective who's, like, investigating this. But, like, the kid actors, though, are great, especially the one kid who's, like, real tall. And they even get an interview on here talking about how he was so much taller than the other two. And, like, he was, like, so, like, probably, like, 1.5 feet taller than both of them. And, like, basically, though, you know, it's just these kids are getting, like, you know, coming after by this ice cream man, but it is, like, so fun. It's got great synth music. If you guys like shot-on-video horror movies, especially, like, early 90s shot-on-video horror, this one is definitely an absolute must-watch. On here, though, too, the picture quality looks great, because the old DVD of it, that, you know, it looked okay, but this one is definitely a huge improvement. It has on here, though, a commentary track on here with the director on this one. It has an, you know, a making of on here. It also has a behind-the-scenes look about creating the ice cream truck. It has an interview with two of the cast members on this one as well. Original poster art, concept video, behind the scenes still gallery, Mr. Ice Cream Man trailers, as well as trailers for other SOV horror releases. But like I said, this is one I would definitely recommend you guys check out. A really, really fun shot on video one here. The next one here is from Warner Brothers. They sent over a free copy of this one to let you guys know that this one is available. And this is Batwoman, the complete series here. This one has the Blu-ray as well as the digital code for the show. And now this one, though, is one I didn't get to see this one when this was on. I was really interested in watching this. It stars Ruby Rose as, you know, as Batwoman. And basically, her character is Bruce Wayne's cousin. And, you know, as a kid, she was, like, kind of, like, was friends with Bruce Wayne. You know, she saw him all the time. And Bruce Wayne has gone missing. And he was, like, missing now for, like, a number of years. And I think this is set in the same universe as, the Dark Knight Rises. Like, I think it's, like, set, because you know how what happens in Dark Knight Rises. I think this kind of connects into that universe of Batman, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but I think it's in that particular universe. And basically, though, Batman has gone missing, and she kind of came over to Bruce Wayne's, you know, house, and then she kind of discovered that, you know, the way to get into the Batcave. So she didn't know that Bruce Wayne was Batman, but she discovers this, and then, like, she basically takes the suit and kind of goes and becomes, and, like, kind of takes over for Batman, essentially. And she's kind of going and, like, taking out bad guys and stuff like that. I actually like this one. I thought Ruby Rose did a really good job in this one. Now, this one, too, I put the sticker on here to remember. This one includes a limited edition bonus disc on here, which is all 5 crossover episodes of this one. The crossover episodes was was in the Crisis Infinity Earth, crossover, and I believe that the Crisis Infinity Earth crossover was like what was first, and then then Batwoman came. I'm pretty sure that Batwoman started off in those series first, because those were part of like the other series in the CW's superhero series, and like they that's one thing that was cool that they always do is kind of connect them all together. But on here though, this has the best of DC Comic-Con panels from 2019, as well as deleted scenes. Like I said, it also has the bonus disc. There also is in here too a little episode guide in here, which shows, the episodes on here, the original air date, and also shows, which ones have deleted scenes and that kind of stuff as well on this one. And the next one here is, a new, this is from Warner Brothers as well. They sent over a free copy. This as well to let you guys know this is available. This is a brand new DC animated movie, Deathstroke, Knights and Demons, the movie. And this is a character, I don't know the Deathstroke character too much. This one I was not super familiar with. And this one here is really interesting. And this one is rated R as well. So it's one of the more, like gory with like the, the animation and everything. But it's also really great animation on this. It's basically, though, about the character of Deathstroke, who like is like an assassin, but like his wife and kid don't know anything about this and what he does and everything, and he's having like a kind of a bad relationship with his wife. They're kind of arguing all the time because he's gone all the time and everything. And what ends up happening though is what was the characters like part of the Hive? It was basically like this terrible like killer who's part of this group. He ends up like kidnapping his son, and he has to go after the son. And it's kind of like his journey to try and rescue his son, and like but then it deals with like another thing happening. I don't want to ruin everything with this, but it was actually really pretty cool here. On here though, this has a Deathstroke one-man, the Death Machine featurette on this one. But like I said, a really pretty cool one here. And this one has the the Blu-ray, the DVD, as well as the digital copy of this one in this release here. The next one here is, and I'll have a link below where you guys can order these ones for the best price. But this one is from the site Movie Zing, and this is also a Sony Pictures Classic release. Now this movie, I love this movie, and this is like the kind of movie when I might not always like this one, but I really like this movie. And it's a movie here called The Burnt Orange Heresy, and I give this a top recommendation. Like, I really got into this movie. I also really like Elizabeth Debicki. I believe that's how you say her name. She was also in Widows. She's going to be in the movie Tenet when that one, or Tent, is it? I think it's, I always mix it. I think it's Tenet. I think I used to think at first it was called Tent, but it's Tenet. And it's basically, though, it also stars, Mick Jagger, who was amazing. Mick Jagger was so good in this. I hope he continues doing more acting, because he hasn't really acted in a really long time, since like Free Jack, I think it was. But it's been a really long time. And also Donald Sutherland, who was amazing as well. Like, everyone was great in this one. Klaus Bang was also in that. He was in something else recently that I saw. But this is basically, though, about the one guy who meets Elizabeth Debicki's character, because he's like an art critic kind of guy. He like goes and like evaluates paintings to see if they're real, and he's like a collector and really, but he doesn't really have a whole lot of money, this guy, and he goes to like to museums and stuff, and kind of like tour groups that come in. He goes like once a month or something and like does these lectures on spotting fakes and art dealing and reviewing and all that kind of stuff, and he meets her there, and it's basically a whole room of old people, and then she's there, and then he kind of meets her, and basically, though, he gets called in by Mick Jagger, who is this eccentric like art collector who has all this money, and he really wants to get this one painting, and his neighbor is Donald Sutherland, who is this artist who was like this amazing artist who vanished for basically 40 years, hasn't talked to any critics, hasn't talked to anybody, but he has this painting that Mick Jagger really wants. So he basically talks to Klaus Bang's character and says, will you go there and basically have this be a ruse of you going there to interview him? And you're a writer as well, so this would be great for you, because you can like talk to him and get this interview with him and maybe do a book or something, but I want you to figure out how to get this picture from him, this rare picture, and it's basically like this ruse. He wants this picture, and it's kind of what comes of this whole situation. And like I said, though, it is great. It goes in these crazy directions. It honestly was amazing. This was really like the kind of movie that I like. But like I said, I wouldn't always like this kind of movie, but this particular one I really liked. It has on here a commentary track on here with the director, as also has a behind the scenes on here and a theatrical trailer on this one. And the next one I got here is from moviezing.com as well, and this is this is also from CBS, and this is the complete first season here of The Unicorn, which stars Walton Goggins, and this is a good show. I was really liking this. I just started watching this, and it's basically though about Walter Goggins' character, who, a year before his wife had passed away, and he's, taking care of his 2 kids, his 2 daughters, and, he's kind of been in, since his wife died, he's kind of been almost like on autopilot. He's not really been in a kind of a slump. He's been very unhappy. He hasn't, he has, a whole freezer full of food that people have given him at the funeral, and he's just been, feeding that to he's been eating that all this time, and he's just in, a slump, and his sister wants to kind of help him out, and, encourages him to get on a dating site and start dating. And then when he gets on there, he puts out, on the status as widowed, and he starts getting all these responses. And the sister's like, oh, that's because you're a unicorn, someone that has, they're a widow, and and basically you're not like somebody who is cheating on your wife, or you're not divorced or something like that. So you're the kind of person that a lot of women are going to come after. And then he's like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to change this. And it's kind of about him kind of changing his whole life and kind of going on dates and kind of trying to open up again. And I actually really like this one. This is a really, really cool show here. This one, and Walton Goggins is always great. I loved him too, a couple years back in Vice Principals, and he's done a bunch of great stuff. The first thing I remember seeing him in, though, was House of a Thousand Corpses. And special features on here, though, it has deleted and extended scenes, as well as a gag reel in this release. The next one here is from CBS, here at CBS Paramount, and this is one I want to let you guys know is available. This is Blue Bloods here, the complete 10th season here on DVD. And this one has on here, though, this has deleted scenes, the 200 episode celebration on this one, as well as a Dinner with the Reagans featurette on this one. Like I said, though, just want to let you guys know that this one was available. And in here, too, it has an episode guide of, all the episodes on this one, and this is a 4-disc set here in this one here. The next ones here are both from this first one is from IFC Midnight, and this is one that I heard so many great things about, and I was really, really interested in seeing this one. It's a movie called The Wretched, and I think at first I was thinking I was called The Wretched or something, but it's The Wretched. I believe that's how you say this one right. And I love the artwork on this release here, the artwork on the cover for this. But it's basically, though, about this kid that ends up moving back with his father because he's been rebellious and stuff like that at home, and he goes to move in with his father, and his father kind of lives out in the middle of nowhere. And then they had this the neighbor nearby, though, the neighbor he caught a deer, and then you see something kind of come out of this deer, something weird happens, and essentially there was something out, some sort of a curse or something like that has happened, and it has possessed the neighbor, the next door neighbor. And she basically has these abilities to kind of make certain things happen, and then they start seeing things, and weird things start happening to this kid and the people around this kid and the one kid's friend. But it's a really, really creative movie. It's very, very hard to explain. It's one of those movies that you really need to just watch and kind of see it as it goes along, because you don't want to spoil too much about it. But it is very, very cool. But like I was saying, though, weird sort of things start to happen, and then the kid is basically, he's trying to figure out exactly what's going on and everything. But I really like this one a lot. This one has on here, though, a commentary track on here with the directors, as well as a commentary track on here with the composer on this one. But like I said, definitely worth checking out. Really like this one. The next one, though, this one gets a top recommendation. This was outstanding. This one here is from Dark Sky Films, and it's a movie here called the Deeper You Dig. And this one, though, was so good, and there was some stuff in this, there was especially there was 2 or 3 of these edits that were amazing, but this one edit in here dealing with water and stuff was probably one of the top edits I've seen in the movie in a long time. The way they transitioned this thing, I mean, it was so well done. This is basically, though, about this mother and daughter. The mother, she's kind of does tarot card readings and things like that, and she's gotten to the place in her life where she's not really getting much of a communication. She's not really communicating with the spirits, really, so she's kind of faking things, kind of saying the stuff that's not true and stuff like that to people, just to kind of, because that's kind of what she does, the only way she makes any money. And her daughter, though, she has her, her teenage daughter as well, who kind of knows about the whole thing and everything. And the one night she's talking about how she really wants to go sledding, and the mom's like, "Oh no, it's too. We're not gonna do this today. We'll do it soon, though. We'll do it tomorrow or something like that." And she ends up sneaking out of the house going sledding, and she ends up getting hit by this car, by this guy who's driving, and the guy ends up like going, "Oh," and he ends up taking her body, and thinking that she's dead, and takes her to his house, because he's basically out there. He's like the next door neighbor. He bought a house to kind of that's all torn down and dilapidated, to kind of flip it and fix it all up and stuff, to resell it. And he takes her to the house, and he finds out that she's still alive. And this is in the very beginning of the movie, but he ends up then killing her and burying her. And it's basically, though, what this is about is the mother is trying to find where her daughter is, and she feels as if she's getting some kind of a communication, finally getting communication from her daughter. And then the guy, though, he starts to kind of see visions of this girl. She's talking to him. Weird sort of things start to happen to him, and it's like I said, there's amazing visuals in here, really creepy vibes. Like I said, this one was so good and so effective in so many levels. And the thing that's so cool about this as well is, this is one of those movies when they say a family affair. This is a family affair. This is a total family production, which is amazing, because they pretty much did everything in this movie. So basically, the director of it, the two directors are the stars of the film. So the guy who ends up killing the girl with his car, he's the director, as well as the actress who plays the mother. She directed it as well. They also all were doing the camera operating as well. And the daughter, that's actually their real life daughter, and she was shooting this movie as well. So she was doing camera on the movie as well. So they did everything in this movie for the most part. So like when it comes to like the production and shooting and that kind of stuff. So it's amazing. Like, and they did such a great job. It's one of these, this is a group too. They're the Adams. Their family's name is the Adams. So it kind of says an Adams family, film, which I thought was kind of cool. But it's basically, though, them doing everything. So I cannot wait to see what they do in the future, because they're doing amazing stuff. And this one, if you guys have watched this, let me know what you thought. But so good. Like, one of the best things I watched in a really long time. Like, at least that to me, I feel like I'm going to think about it. It was very memorable. The next one here, these ones are all from Mill Creek. And this is a show that I never saw this one when it was on. I believe this was on the Sci-Fi Channel originally. I believe so. And this is Eureka, the complete series here on Blu-ray, available for the first time on Blu-ray. And like I said, this is one that I do not remember seeing this one at all when it was on. I think it went from like, 2000 and maybe it was 2006 or 2000. I can't remember for sure when it started, but I think it went to like 2012. Like I said, this is the complete series, and this is basically, though, about this. He's like a U.S. Marshal who is transporting this, his daughter who had kind of ran away, and he's driving through this town, and he ends up getting like runs off the road, and basically finds himself stranded in this town. And it's this weird sort of town where they have all sort of weird technology there, and everyone there is like a super genius. They're all really intelligent. They're like creating kind of weird things, and they have weird type of technology and weird type of devices and stuff like that. And he basically, something happens to the sheriff in the town, and he ends up having to basically become the town sheriff. And this show is kind of about what goes on in the town, the strange occurrences. Like, they get in all sort of weird type of stuff happens too. Because of these inventions and stuff, they get stuck in like loops. They see like other versions of themselves and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's a really cool show. On here, though, feature-wise, it has commentary tracks, deleted scenes, gag reels, webisodes, behind-the-scenes featurettes. So lots and lots of stuff, in this release here. And it is a 12-disc set in total here. And I'll show you guys, though, a look inside. Here's a look, though, at the back of these ones here. And here's disc 1 through 6. And here, like I said, just want to give you guys a little look inside of these ones. And then here's discs 7 through 12 here. But I guess it's one thing I love with Mill Creek, that they're putting out these complete series of, shows on Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that. I always, like I said, I've talked about in the past, I always love complete series sets. And especially, when they're together and then they have a bunch of features and stuff like that as well. And like I said, for one that I had never seen before, and also looks great on, on Blu-ray. I don't think, too, when this probably first started airing originally, it may not even been really seen in HD too much, because and when this would have started back then, like, there wasn't as much HD on the TV. Like, that started happening more like I'm sure like later seasons when that we would see the HD ones a lot more. And the next ones here are also from Mill Creek as well, and these are ones I just want you guys know were available. And this is from the Ultraman series, and this is the complete series here of I believe it's Neo Ultra Q here, available on Blu-ray here. And this one also includes the through Movie Spree, the digital copy of the show as well. And this is a 2-disc set here. And these ones here are some documentaries, and this is from the the Becoming Evil series. This is Becoming Evil, the Mafia, and this is talking all about famous mafia figures like, John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, Bugsy Siegel, Al Capone, and some of those ones that are like the known ones. And it's a documentary all on them. And it also includes the digital copy as well through Movie Spree. And this is a documentary here. It's a 5 documentary collection set here. And this is the British Invasion. This includes the DVD as well as a digital copy. But this has all documentary on, the people who were musicians from the British Invasion period. So it has a documentary on here, the Beatles, The Long Winding Road, Buddy Epstein, the 5th Beatle documentary, Rolling Stones, Just for the Record, The Who, Vegas Job, and Inside John Lennon here. So it's a, like I said, it's a collection here of 5 documentaries, dealing with the British Invasion period. And this also includes a digital copy as well. Now, the next ones here are all from Gravitas Ventures. And this is one that stars Bill Oberst Jr., Linnea Quigley, Kane Hodder. And this is called The Things Devils Do. And this is basically, though, about like Bill Oberst Jr.'s character and his daughter's character, along with Kane Hodder's character, are planning on going to this house to rob something. There's something in there they're trying to get, and they want to get into this place. And in the beginning, though, you see like the guy in that house, and his wife, played by Linnea Quigley. They get like he gets some kind of like a weird casket type thing, and he like opens it up and takes it down to the basement, and it ends up like unleashing some sort of a kind of like a Night of the Demons type creature thing that comes out and starts attacking them. And then at the same time when this is happening, the 3 bad guys, Bill Oberst Jr.'s character, Kane Hodder, and then Bill Oberst Jr.'s character's daughter all break into this house, and they all end up finding themselves, and they are trapped dealing with this creature. And it's actually a really fun movie. And Kane Hodder too, Bill Oberst Jr. is always amazing, and I thought Kane Hodder though played this really great like really mean guy in it. I don't know, he was really great. Like, he always does a really great job as well. But I really like this movie. This is like a fun throwback 80s style film. The next one from Gravitas Ventures as well is one called The Dark End of the Street. And this is one of those kind of ensemble, like character piece kind of movies with like kind of like it's a drama, but then has like dark comedy kind of elements mixed into it. That kind of a vibe. And it's about like something is going on, and someone has been killing pets in the neighborhood, and it's kind of like this mystery, and it's kind of like, how did this happen, and who was involved in this? And it's kind of like they kind of hint to certain people, and they show like weird guys looking out the window, and like you kind of follow around the neighbors, and like I said, it follows around all throughout this neighborhood, and then people kind of talking in their theories and all that kind of stuff, and like spreading things around about the whole thing about who it is, and it follows around a group of these kids who are out there, and kind of the whole thing is just wondering who was involved in this thing. But it was a really interesting movie here. Like I said, this is called The Dark End of the Street. The other one here is from Gravitas Ventures as well, and this is called Nothing But the Blood. And this is basically, though, about this like kind of one of those kind of crazy, one of those churches where they do kind of like stuff with snakes and kind of crazy stuff that they do, and like a crazy preacher who says all sorts of crazy stuff to the followers, and like where the followers kind of will do everything that he says, and he kind of like even bad things and that kind of stuff. And basically this one woman who is a writer is like hired to do a piece, and she lives in the town where this is, to do a town on this church and kind of talk to the guy and everything. And it's kind of like once she kind of gets into this thing, she realizes that there's a whole lot more going on here and a whole lot of weird stuff happening. And it's kind of like and then it kind of follows around the church and the weird things that are going on in there, and this controlling stuff. And it's one of those things where things build up and get worse and worse and crazier as it goes along. And then, like I said, this one here is called Nothing But the Blood. And the last one from Gravitas Ventures is a movie called The Arrangement. And this one features Eric Roberts in this one. And this is basically, though, like Eric Roberts' character is kind of like one of those self-help kind of guys that people go like to like hear him like talk about, oh, do this, and you got to do this, and this, don't let this control you, and don't let fear control you, and that kind of stuff. And basically, though, this is dealing with like an investigation about like people who are like being found dead. And it's kind of like, does it have something to do with this group? Is it like this group kind of control controlling things and making people do this, and it's kind of about the cops kind of looking into the thing and trying to investigate what all this means and everything. But I actually thought this one was actually pretty cool, as well here. Like I said, this is called The Arrangement. The next two ones here are both from Vinegar Syndrome. This is one here called The 11th Commandment, and this is about like a guy who ended up getting put into the insane asylum because like his uncle, was it his uncle or somebody like that? Yeah, his uncle wanted to make sure that this guy couldn't get the inheritance because like he comes from a family that has a lot of money, so that the uncle kind of like purposely put him in there and made everyone think he was crazy so this guy wouldn't get the inheritance. But the guy was in there in the nut house kind of cracking up more and more because of this, and he was like getting kind of filled with anger and rage and everything. And essentially it's him breaking out and escaping from the nut house and then going and coming after people and kind of trying to get revenge and that kind of stuff. But this is actually really, really cool. I like this one a lot. This one is brand new, scanned and restored in 2K from its 35mm interpositive negative on here. Vinegar Syndrome always does an amazing job, cleaning up their film. So great transfer on this one here. It also has on here, though, an interview on here with the actor Bernard White. Has an interview on here with actress Lauren Woodlard, as well as a promotional still gallery on this one here as well. And the other one here is directed by, Larry Cohen, who, of course, directed The Stuff. He did The Ambulance, a whole bunch of different movies. God Told Me To. I always love his movies. He recently passed away. He's a really cool guy. I talked to him a couple times at conventions throughout the years. Very, very nice guy, but I always loved his stuff. And, and then he wrote a lot of, like, Hollywood films. Like, he wrote, like, Phone Booth. But The Ambulance, though, that's one that I feel like is really less talked about that I would recommend you guys check out. That actually has Eric Roberts as well, who I was just talking about. But this one here is called Perfect Strangers. And this is one I was not as familiar with. And this one was basically, though, about, like, this contract killer with the mafia, and like he ends up killing somebody in the alleyway, and this kid sort of sees it, and then like basically, though, it's kind of like the guy, because like there was a witness, and like then people are coming around, and like the cops are talking to the mother, and the kid is acting strange and everything, and basically this guy, wants to try and find a way to figure out exactly what the kid knows, and he wants to kind of get close to the mother and kind of like start to date her and all that kind of stuff, so he can kind of get information and see exactly what's known and all that kind of stuff. It's a really interesting movie. This one has on here newly restored and scanned and in 2K from the 35mm negative. Has on here, though, an interview with actress Ann Christel, Shadow in the City, an interview with director, an archival interview with Larry Cohen, promotional still gallery on this one. And the last one here, this is from, from Lo-Fi Video and Verberdine Video. And I have to cover one thing up on the front just so no one says anything, but it's a movie here called Slash Dance. This is one I believe I had heard about before, and I'll have a link below where you guys can order this one. But it was one of those movies that I believe I had heard about, had never seen before, and it's a like I said, it's called Slash Dance. I'm just covering this up just so no one says anything. But I don't know for sure if the movie was shot on film or video, because like it looked in some places like it might have been shot like on 16mm and then like edited on videotape or something like that. And like the only existing version is on video. So like that's what I've noticed too, is sometimes with certain movies when you think it was shot on video, there are a handful like that. I thought that, and then I saw it, I'm like, oh, when I saw it on Blu-ray, I'm like, oh, then I guess it wasn't shot on video, but it just sort of seemed like it. But this is basically, though, about like a dance club kind of group where people are getting killed off. The movie goes in like really strange directions, though, and there's like really long scenes that are kind of funny of like the dancing, like rehearsing, that go on forever. Like they're like, oh, we're rehearsing it. It's kind of funny, like how it goes on and on and on. But I kind of like this one. It's from 1989. It just has a really fun vibe to this one, and they have like a certain type of music too that they keep on using a lot in this too, like this certain type of theme. But it has on here, though, a commentary track on here with the director. It has a 3-minute version on here, as was a trailers for other releases from Lo-Fi Video and Verberdine Video as well. But anyway, though, guys, that was all for the review portion of this video. Like I always say too, if you guys enjoy these videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys later.